Welcome to our deep dive into Hayao Miyazaki's Princess Mononoke.
Oh, a classic.
It's considered one of Studio Ghibli's most powerful films. And
Definitely.
we're going to explore why this animated masterpiece is so impactful today.
I think it's amazing how a film released back in 1997 can still feel so relevant.
Yeah.
Even today.
Totally.
It grapples with environmentalism, industrialization, the ethics of human expansion in a way that just gets under your skin, really makes you think.
So to set the stage for our listeners, we're in Muromachi period Japan.
Okay.
A time of huge societal shifts.
Yeah.
Imagine a world moving from farms and fields to,
Right.
growing cities and bustling trade routes.
Yeah, and that's where that core tension of the film lies.
Okay.
This clash between the human world
Right.
and the natural world.
And yet, it doesn't feel like a simple good versus evil.
Kind of narrative.
It's way more nuanced than that.
Right.
It forces us to consider the complexities.
The gray areas.
Yeah, the gray areas of progress and how it affects the environment.
So right from the start, we meet Ashitaka.
The Emishi prince.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's carrying this curse.
This intriguing curse.
It's like
He killed this demonized boar god.
Right, but it was infected.
Boar god was infected by an iron bullet.
Yes.
It's like this tiny piece of human technology has just spiraled into something monstrous.
So the curse, in a way, becomes this symbol for his entire journey.
It shows the destructive side of unchecked rage and violence.
Yeah.
But also, it pushes him on this quest for peace.
It's almost like he's literally marked by the conflict and can't ignore it.
Yeah, he can't escape it.
And then we have Sanponsha.
Princess Mononoke, right?
Raised by wolves.
Fiercely protective of the forest.
You can feel that conflict in her way.
She despises humans.
But she's drawn to Ashitaka. She is,
outsider.
And she's such an incredible embodiment of nature's raw power.
Yeah.
This child of two worlds, torn between her hatred for humanity and this connection with this outsider who seems to just get her.
Then there's Lady Eboshi.
The leader of Irontail.
Talk about a complex character.
Right. Driven to improve the lives of her people, but willing to exploit the forest to do it.
She's not a villain in the typical sense.
Right.
Remember, she cares for the marginalized.
The lepers.
The former prostitutes.
Yes.
Shunned by society.
It makes her actions
more understandable.
Yeah.
Even if you question their morality.
Miyazaki really throws down a challenge.
He does.
With these characters.
He doesn't want us to just pick sides, right?
Right.
It's about understanding the needs and desires fueling this conflict.
And he does it all through.
And the way he does it, too.
Incredibly stunning hand-drawn animation. Oh, those forest scenes are just breathtaking.
Yes.
Absolutely breathtaking.
And the fact that it's hand-drawn.
Yeah.
Even when digital methods were taking off.
You can really see Miyazaki's philosophy in that choice.
Yeah.
Sticking with that traditional style.
The level of detail.
It creates this immersive, almost otherworldly atmosphere.
I've seen this film like a dozen times.
Yeah.
And I'm still mesmerized.
Oh, I know.
By those little Kodama.
The tree spirits.
The tree spirits.
Yeah.
They're so iconic.
They are. They become iconic.
And speaking of capturing an atmosphere.
Yeah.
Joe Hisaishi's score.
It's incredible.
It's not just background music.
It's like another character in the film.
The way he blends traditional Japanese instruments with orchestral arrangements.
Haunting, majestic, just like the story itself.
And you can tell that Miyazaki just sweats every detail.
Oh, he does.
From the way nature is depicted.
Yeah, the flow of water, rain.
To the cultural consultants.
The consultant brought in. He wanted that authenticity.
Yeah.
It was clearly a driving force.
There's a story about how the animators study water movement for weeks.
Yeah.
Just to get it right.
It wasn't about realism. It was about capturing the essence of water.
Yeah.
Its life force.
So we've got this captivating setting, these complex characters.
Yeah.
This breathtaking animation and score. What does it all mean? What's the takeaway?
I think at its heart,
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke is this powerful plea for coexistence, for recognizing how interconnected humanity and nature truly are.
It's like Ashitaka's quest isn't just about ending the conflict.
No.
It's about finding that balance.
It's about finding that balance, yeah.
And ending is so open-ended.
It is.
Neither side really wins.
It makes you think, right?
Yeah.
Miyazaki wants you to think about the complexity of achieving that balance.
Because there are no easy answers.
There are no easy answers.
It's not good versus evil.
No clear villains.
Yeah.
Just competing needs. And that challenge of finding a path forward.
Princess Mononoke really is a film that stays with you.
It is.
It forces you to think about your own relationship with nature, the consequences of your actions,
absolutely,
what it really means to coexist.
It really does make you wonder, is there a future where humanity and nature can thrive together?
And what role do you play in making that happen?
Exactly.
Now, we've covered a lot. The setting, the characters, the themes, this incredible artistry.
The artistry is phenomenal.
But this deep dive isn't over yet.
Not even close.
You ready to go deeper?
Let's do it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Princess Mononoke.
All right, so we've explored the characters and the overarching themes.
Yeah.
Now it's time to look closer at how those themes are woven into the visual language of the film.
Miyazaki, I mean, he's a master storyteller.
Oh, absolutely.
He doesn't waste a single frame.
Every image.
It's like every setting.
Yeah, every setting is brimming with meaning.
Like those lush forests and that stark industrial landscape of Irontown.
They're not just backdrops. They're characters in their own right.
That contrast between the natural world and the human-made world.
Yeah.
It's so striking.
It really is.
The forest feels vibrant.
Teeming with life.
Almost ethereal.
With those ancient trees and waterfalls and, you know.
Those adorable Kodama.
Oh, yeah, those Kodama.
And you have Irontown.
All sharp edges and metal.
Yeah.
Practically suffocating under plumes of smoke.
It feels almost oppressive.
Compared to that, that wild, free-flowing energy of the forest.
It really drives home that central conflict. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
That tension between nature and industry.
Yeah, that visual contrast really underscores that.
The forest becomes this symbol of harmony.
Balance.
The more spiritual way of life.
Then Irontown.
Embodies human ambition.
The drive for progress.
Yeah, but also that potential for destruction.
Yeah.
That comes with it.
And that contrast isn't just in the settings. No, it's in the characters, too.
It's woven into the characters.
Think about San.
Princess Mononoke.
So deeply connected to the forest.
Her movements, it's like...
Almost animalistic.
Almost animalistic, yeah.
It's like the forest itself flows through her.
She's always surrounded by those incredible wolf gods. Her movements... fluid and graceful.
And her clothing, too.
Simple, yeah.
Made from those natural materials.
You see those markings?
Of her wolf family.
On her face. It's like she's a living,
breathing representation of nature's untamed beauty.
She just embodies that raw, primal energy of the forest.
And then you have Lady Eboshi.
Always impeccably dressed.
Surrounded by the tools of civilization.
Yeah, the guns, the cannons, the elaborate machinery of Irontown.
It's a powerful contrast.
It's like her visual presentation screams intelligence and ambition.
She's determined to create a better life for her people.
But it makes you question the cost, right?
It does.
Is progress worth sacrificing the natural world?
That's the question.
It's like her character is this symbol of human ingenuity.
And our desire to shape the world to fit our needs.
Which isn't inherently bad.
No, it raises the question of hubris, of overstepping our bounds.
It's a dilemma we face even today.
We do.
Okay, so we've got this constant visual tug of war.
Between nature and industry.
But there's so much more going on visually.
Oh, yeah.
We can't talk about visual symbolism without mentioning the forest spirit.
That's an image that stays with you.
Long after the credits roll.
It's one of the most visually arresting...
And symbolically rich.
And symbolically rich characters in the film.
This ancient deity.
Beautiful and terrifying.
Both at the same time.
At the same time.
By day, this majestic deer.
Its antlers reaching up to the heavens.
And at night.
It transforms.
This giant, almost humanoid figure.
Otherworldly, dreamlike.
It makes you wonder what Miyazaki's trying to tell us.
About the power of nature.
The power of nature, yeah.
The forest spirit embodies the very life force of the forest.
That primal energy.
It flows through all living things.
It's nature's power and mystery in its purest form.
And the fact that it can transform.
Yeah.
Speaks to the cyclical nature of life and death.
That constant ebb and flow.
Creation and destruction.
That governs the natural world. I always get chills during that scene where the forest spirit is walking through the forest at night.
Oh, yeah.
And its footsteps leave those trails of glowing energy.
It's like witnessing the very pulse of life itself.
It really is.
That scene perfectly captures the awe-inspiring power of the forest spirit, doesn't it?
Every movement is significant.
Every step imbued with meaning.
That glowing energy it leaves behind.
That's the life force flowing through the forest.
Connecting everything.
Connecting everything, binding it together.
And speaking of powerful imagery.
Yeah.
The curse that plagues Ashitaka.
Oh, right.
It's not just a physical affliction.
It's this visual manifestation of the corruption that's spreading across the land.
You see these dark, pulsating tendrils.
Spreading across his arm.
Like a disease.
Like a disease, yeah.
It's not just his body that's being corrupted.
It's his spirit.
It's his very spirit, yeah.
It's like a visual representation of that inner turmoil he's going through.
That struggle to balance his anger with his desire for peace.
Exactly.
It's almost like Miyazaki is telling us
that hatred is a disease.
It can spread, consuming everything in its path.
It's a warning.
A stark reminder.
Of the stakes of this conflict between humanity and nature.
If we let hatred and violence fester,
they'll ultimately destroy us all.
So we've got this clash between nature and industry, this powerful forest spirit, and this curse that serves as a constant reminder.
Of the destructive power of unchecked emotions.
What other visual elements do you think?
Well, there's this recurring motif of eyes and seeing.
Eyes and seeing, okay.
It's subtle.
Okay.
But if you pay attention, you'll notice how often Miyazaki emphasizes eyes.
Both literally and metaphorically.
Throughout the film.
Now that you mention it, I remember that scene.
Where Ashitaka first encounters Snan.
Yeah, their eyes lock.
It's like this moment of recognition.
Of seeing beyond the surface.
It's not just about physical sight.
Right.
It's about true understanding, empathy.
Seeing beyond the labels.
Seeing beyond the labels we put on each other.
Like Lady Eboshi, who rides a blindfolded ox.
Exactly.
Blindfolded ox.
Represents a lack of true vision.
Yeah.
The inability to see the consequences of one's actions.
It's like Miyazaki.
He's a master of visual storytelling.
He's able to convey these complex ideas
through imagery,
allowing the audience to engage with the film on multiple levels.
And speaking of visual mastery,
the animation itself.
Every frame of Princess Mononoke,
a work of art,
that hand-drawn style,
lends a level of detail and fluidity
that you just wouldn't get with CGI.
You can feel the dedication and passion of the animators.
In every scene.
They poured their hearts and souls into this film.
And it shows.
Like the way they depict motion.
The way characters move, the wind blowing through the trees.
Even the smallest details like the way fabric flows.
Or water ripples.
It's all so lifelike.
Miyazaki uses a technique called smear frames.
Smear frames, okay.
To create that sense of speed and fluidity in motion.
I was going to say, those action scenes, like the battle between the wolves and the boars.
Yeah.
So dynamic and exciting.
Exactly. It's those subtle techniques that bring the animation to life.
And then there's the use of multiplane camera shots.
To create that sense of depth and scale.
Especially in the forest scenes.
You really get a sense of the vastness.
The vastness and complexity of the forest ecosystem.
Yeah, it's like you're really there walking alongside Ashitaka.
And let's not forget the role of color.
Oh, color's so important in this film.
Miyazaki uses color so deliberately.
To set the mood.
Underscoring the film's themes.
Like those greens and blues of the forest.
It evokes this sense of tranquility.
Of being enveloped by nature's embrace.
It's like you can almost smell the fresh air.
And feel the coolness of the shade.
Just by looking at the colors.
Those cool tones represent the life and vitality of the natural world.
Its ability to heal and rejuvenate.
And there's such a stark contrast to the warm colors.
Those reds and oranges.
Associated with Irontown and the human world.
Those colors, they're associated with energy.
Passion, ambition.
But they also hint at danger.
Violence, destruction.
Think about the fiery glow of the ironworks.
Or the blood red of the curse that afflicts Ashitaka.
It's like Miyazaki is using color to create a visual shorthand.
For the film's central conflict.
And the way he uses color to highlight certain characters or objects.
Sand, for example.
Often framed against a backdrop of those lush greens.
Emphasizing her connection to nature.
This deep dive into the visual language of Princess Mononoke.
It's been pretty insightful, hasn't it?
I'm seeing the film in a whole new light.
It's amazing how much thought and care
went into every detail.
It's a testament to Miyazaki's genius.
So we've explored the clashing worlds of nature and industry.
We've talked about the power of the forest spirit,
The symbolism of the curse.
the recurring motif of eyes and seeing,
We've even touched on some of the animation techniques.
and the use of color.
Ready to go even deeper.
Let's delve into the philosophical heart of Princess Mononoke.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Princess Mononoke. We've explored the story, the characters, the visual symbolism, and now I think we're getting to the heart of it, all the philosophical ideas that make this film so much more than just, a great animated movie.
Miyazaki isn't just giving us this thrilling adventure, he's grappling with some really big questions.
About humanity's relationship with nature.
Yeah, and it goes way beyond a simple save the planet message.
Right.
He's asking us to think about balanced coexistence.
What progress really means.
Exactly.
It's like he's holding up a mirror to us, in a way.
He is.
Making us question what it means to be human.
In a world where our actions have such a huge impact on the environment.
And the natural world, yeah.
He's challenging us to consider the cost of progress.
And whether there's a way to live in harmony with nature.
Rather than trying to just dominate it.
And you see that reflected so clearly in the film's central conflict.
Absolutely.
It's not just a battle over resources between Irontown and the forest.
No, it's much deeper than that.
It's a clash of ideologies.
Two completely different ways of seeing the world.
Irontown represents that drive for innovation, for using technology in industry.
To improve our lives.
But it also shows the potential for greed, for exploitation.
For becoming so focused on our own needs that we destroy the very environment we depend on.
Right, and the forest, with its beauty and untamed power,
represents something else entirely.
But it's not like Miyazaki is romanticizing nature either.
No, he doesn't shy away from the reality that nature can be harsh.
Unforgiving.
The forest is a place of wonder and beauty. Yes.
But also danger and death.
It exists outside of human morality.
It follows its own rules.
Exactly.
But it's like he's saying there's no easy answer, no black and white solution.
True coexistence means respecting both human needs and the needs of the natural world.
Finding that middle ground.
And that's where Ashitaka comes in.
He's the bridge between those two worlds.
He's constantly trying to find a way to connect them.
Think about how he's cursed by the boar god's hatred.
Yet he's drawn to the beauty and spirit of the forest.
And he sees the good in Lady Eboshi.
Even as he recognizes the harm she's causing.
It's like Ashitaka is wrestling with the same dilemmas we all face.
He is.
Trying to balance our own desires with the needs of others.
Making choices that will lead to a better future.
Even when there's no clear path.
His struggle mirrors our own.
And the film doesn't offer easy answers either.
That ambiguous ending.
Where we don't know for sure if humans and nature will find a way to coexist.
It leaves you thinking.
Long after the credits roll.
It really does.
And I think that's what makes this film so brilliant.
Miyazaki trusts his audience.
He doesn't preach.
Doesn't give us a tidy moral lesson.
He throws out these profound questions.
And invites us to wrestle with them ourselves.
To look inward. To examine our own beliefs about progress, about nature, about our place in the world.
He leaves us with a sense of wonder, of possibility, of responsibility.
Princess Mononoke is the kind of film that stays with you.
It really is.
It nudges you to think differently, to challenge your assumptions.
And I think ultimately it leaves you with a sense of hope.
It does.
It reminds us of the incredible beauty and power of the natural world.
But also of the enduring strength of the human spirit.
It shows us that even in the face of conflict and destruction, there's always hope.
For healing, for finding balance, for building a better future.
That's the message.
It's a story that speaks to something universal, something that transcends cultures and generations.
This idea that we're all connected.
That the choices we make today shape the world of tomorrow.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
It's a call to action, an invitation to imagine a future where humanity and nature can truly thrive together.
It is.
So as we come to the end of our deep dive, I'm left feeling a sense of awe at the sheer depth and complexity of Princess Mononoke.
It's a film that's both timeless and timely, a story that will continue to inspire and challenge us.
And it's a powerful testament to the power of animation, of visual storytelling.
Miyazaki shows us that animation isn't just for kids.
Right.
It's a medium that can transport us to other worlds, explore profound ideas, touch our hearts.
In a way that few other art forms can.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Princess Mononoke.
We hope you've gained a new appreciation for this incredible film, and if this has sparked your curiosity.
We encourage you to explore the rest of Miyazaki's work.
There's a whole universe of stories out there, waiting to be discovered.